Hi everyone, I'm Marlow Felton.
I'm Chris Felton.
And thanks for joining us. We're here to share with you some things that we have hid from each other. Is
that what we're talking about?
That is. Do you have any surprises for me? We could get into a fight live.
I haven't hid anything.
Whatever.
Totally 100%.
Yes, even we have hid things from each other. And back in the day, we were doing it without any accountability because we didn't have an agreement, a system, and goals and dreams to look forward to. So I'm going to share mine. And I know every woman out there, or maybe not every woman out there, but a lot of women out there have maybe done the same thing. And this was years ago. This was before we had our financial transformation and got on the same page. And just so it's clear that we're talking about this is what we had done before. and now we have financial transparency and a system that works for us so we don't have to feel like we have to hide anything. And that works for us. So we'll share with you how that works. But first, we're going to get down to our deep, dark secrets of our financial infidelity and what we did. I used to hide shoes in the trunk of my car. Yes, ladies, I hid shoes in the trunk of my car.
Like new shoes or like your old shoes?
My old shoes, yeah.
Why would you put your old shoes in the...
Not my old shoes, new shoes. So I have a shoe thing. I have a lot of things, but I if you saw my closet, I have quite the what's the word I'm looking for here? I enjoy clothes and shoes, and especially shoes. There's nothing better than a nice pair of shoes, and I would want these shoes, but I didn't want my purchase to encourage Chris to spend money because Chris was really the spendosaurus of the two of us. I had my spending under control. I had it budgeted out. And so when I bought the shoes, I knew how much, I was spending for that month and everything. However, I still hid it from him because I didn't want him to think that meant, oh, hey, I guess I can go out and buy something now. Because that happens a lot in relationships. Right, honey?
Revenge spending.
Yes, it's called revenge spending. I didn't want to perpetuate any revenge spending. So I used to go to the mall and buy stuff for myself, and I would just hide it in the trunk of my car until Chris was gone or in the shower or something, and then I would just bring it in. But I don't do that anymore, do I?
What was that when we lived in that awesome house that you loved so much that was an icebox in central Denver?
Yeah, what?
You bought some combo handbag, business bag.
Oh,
do you remember that?
I do, yeah.
You didn't hide that very well from me.
I didn't. It was kind of hard to hide because it was big.
Out in the middle, I was like,
and
what
it was shiny. It was really
shiny.
How much
was this? How much was it?
I don't remember, but it was
more
than I should have been spending on a handbag and a briefcase.
So she's not as disciplined back then as
well, yeah, and I got caught up in the moment, and I really felt that I really needed this matching briefcase handbag set, and it was really pretty, and yeah, I kind of went over my spending limit. But Chris Felton, I was not alone in hiding things, right? Because you hid some things. He did it in some other little ways, sneaky.
Well, I did it through the business, right? So we work with a lot of entrepreneurs, and it's a business expense, right? Mm-hmm. So if it's a business expense, it's the equivalent of spending $1 to save 30 cents. And even if you don't understand math,
he felt that he didn't have to tell me if it was a business expense.
And even if you don't understand math, that's not a good way to get ahead financially. And so, and it would go on an American Express card, right? And then I would just pay the American Express card every month. So, we're not accumulating debt. So that's a good thing until I went to, the CPA, and American Express loved me because they'd send this, summary every year that you could just take to your CPA. And it was like $50,000 of just garbage and business meetings and happy hours and hey, it's all business. It's okay to blow the money, and I meet a lot of entrepreneurs that the business and the personal side, well, it was Chris and Marlow Inc. And just because it was a business expense and we have a separate S corporation, whatever I'm spending over there is taken away from what's flowing to the household. So, that's what I did. And then just realized that, I didn't, and part of that was approval you need, right? I have to buy your lunch or buy you drinks in order for me to feel okay with us doing business together. I mean, just none of that stuff was important. And then I just had accumulated a lot of debt that I didn't tell you about.
Yes, and then there was that. Yeah, he never told me about the debt that he had until we started merging our finances and getting a budget together and had to build a spreadsheet of our assets and our liabilities. And then I found out about all the debt that he hadn't told me about for 2 years. And that was shocking. Right, honey?
Shocking to you.
It was shocking to me. Yeah, I think he was in denial.
Your reaction was shocking to me.
Right.
No, mine's never been clothes and stuff. It's just always been,
that's obvious.
I mean, but yeah, it's obvious. I wear the same jacket every week, but it was more about, fun and golf and happy hours and cocktails and that's how I kind of hit it.
Yeah.
And then I had really good justifications for it, business expenses. Yep.
Yeah.
So what's yours?
So if you're just joining us, I'm Marlow Felton.
I'm Chris Felton, a recovered spender.
He's a recovered spender.
Or recovering still. No, I'm recovering.
Yes, and so we're talking about is what we hid from each other. So I used to hide shoes and handbags and clothes in the trunk of my car that I bought because I didn't want him to think that it was okay to just go spend. And so I hid it from him, and he hid things through our business and as a business expense, and that was his way of hiding it.
A lot of people do that.
Seriously, I have met with and I know you have too. I have met with so many business owners, married business owners that do the same thing, and they are fooling themselves that if it's a business expense, that somehow it doesn't count. Because that was what Chris was doing. And I will tell you what, it's still money coming off the bottom line. It's money that's not going towards your goals and dreams together as a couple. So stop it. Stop it. Stop it. It's crazy. And and Chris hid a huge amount of debt, just mind-boggling amount of debt from me. And, I'll tell you, we're really talking about financial infidelity. And financial infidelity, it can be very detrimental to a relationship when you're hiding things from a spouse. And it really betrays trust, and it chisels away at the relationship. And so what did we do to fix it? Because we fixed it. That's the good news. So we're going to share with you how we remedied the hiding of the spending, so we don't have to do that anymore. And that was one of the best things that we did.
Well, what shifted it was me paying attention to my intuition and not my ego, because you would have never found out about the debt until it was too late, until I was looking for answers, and me managing the finances from an ego standpoint seemed like that's the way it was always going to be, because I was a CPA and financial advisor and all that. But when I actually would spend time every morning just quieting my brain and listening for answers, when the download from God happened, basically, that said, hey, let her do it, because you wanted to manage the money. Me paying attention to my intuition and actually acting on it is what, it was rough after that. But if I wouldn't have acted on that, and if you wouldn't have kept asking to do it, it would have been, horrible, 12 months down the road. So you gotta if money's not working for you, you gotta be open to your intuition, and that happens when you get clear on what you want, but listen to your intuition and then act on those things, because that's how you accumulate wealth. Actually, is paying attention to your intuition. So I mean, but that was one move.
Well, right, and then basically we got clear on what our vision was and our goals and dreams were together as a couple, and built a segregation plan with our money. And I talk about it quite a bit in our book, Couples Money, and the yours, mine, and ours buckets, and the segregation and the creation of the fun fund. Because at the end of the day, we all have needs. I'm a person, Chris is a person, we're individuals. We have wants and individual wants. And mine are shoes. And for Chris, it's not shoes. So
mine are torn right now.
Yeah, his are torn and he doesn't even care. He keeps wearing his torn shoes. Oh my gosh. Anyway.
Nobody looks at my shoes.
Okay,
my eyes are up here.
Sure. Nobody's looking at your shoes. Anyway,
eyes
so
are up here.
so what?
Funny.
That is funny. So
eyes are up here.
So anyway, we created a segregation system and created the fun fund so that my fun and Chris's fun didn't interfere with our household bucket and our savings and all the other things that we segregated out. So the fun fund really stopped me from hiding shoes in the trunk of my car, because if I come home now with new shoes, Chris knows it came out of my fun fund, so he's not worried about it siphoning money and taking money out of our household account. What we're going to save, put into our savings, and vice versa. So if Chris uses his fun fund for something, then I don't have to worry about it anymore. And then there's no hiding and no need to hide, which is awesome. It's been liberating. So no more hiding. And we go through our spreadsheet where we have all of our segregation of our funds. We share this in great detail in some of our other programs. But it's been life-changing, and it's, really made our relationship a lot better, because we don't have to worry about what the other one is spending, and, and that we have money.
And funds segregated, right? So what happens is people try to go on this tight budget, and, it's called having pent up demand. Mm-hmm. And you just, then you deprive yourself of having fun, and then you just sabotage, all your months and years of work, and you go blow it because you have this pent up need to whatever. So, you gotta allocate.
Right. Yeah. It's like being on a crash diet. If you go on a crash diet and all you're eating is lettuce for a month, of course you're going to want that cheeseburger at the end of the month, or two or three.
Same thing.
Yeah. Same concept. So even if you're single, segregate some money for fun. That makes sense with your goals and dreams. And, the other thing that I mentioned earlier is the revenge spending. So us segregating our fun out for us individually really did away with any of that revenge spending, because even we were guilty of that. We're only human, right? And we didn't want to perpetuate any revenge spending. So the fun fund and segregating that out really took away from all that. So if you're hiding money, stop it. If you're hiding money in the trunk of your car in the form of shoes, or as business expenses, as Chris here would do, or golf clubs, golf clubs,
men and women.
Men. I will tell you, men are famous
golf clothes
for the golf clothes. For me, it's golf clothes, golf, and food. Men are notorious for the happy hours and the food, Yep. Whereas women, we don't necessarily care about that as much, generally speaking. But anyway, just be careful of those things, and they all add up. And hopefully we can help you stop hiding money from each other, become a little bit more transparent, segregate some funds, have some fun with it, and relieve some stress on your relationship. I know it has for ours. So if you want to continue the conversation with us in the forum, I provided a link for you to find out a little bit more information about our Couples Money Forum. You can find out more by clicking that link, and hope to talk to you soon. And thanks for joining us.